how did the gig with Al come up? Because to me, Al is the baddest rhythm guitar player on the planet ever, all time, period. If you don't know, Al McKay, Earth, Wind & Fire, do your history lesson and look it up. But how did that come about?
My dad has a friend that is a bass player up. He was in the Bay Area, now he lives in Oregon. But he was close friends with this piano player, singer, Ellis Hall.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And Ellis is really fantastic. Blind.
Wasn't he, yeah.
Yeah, blind, really super soulful.
Tower Power for a while, wasn't he?
He did Tower Power. He's done a lot of really cool stuff.
Yeah.
But so he got booked for a gig in the Bay Area, but I think the budget wasn't right for him to bring his guys from LA. Mm-hmm. And so my dad kind of got the position to MD that sort of, he put everybody together, and he got me on the gig.
Okay.
And so we did this private event, and it was I think it was for Toyota, like a private party or something like that. But it was all this Tower Power stuff, and like it was like a funk gig, you know. And we just had a great time, and Ellis loved my playing. At the time, I think I was 19 or something like that. So when I moved down here, I stayed in touch with Ellis. Mm-hmm. You know, let him know I was in town, and I was actually working at a bike shop in Santa Monica.
Oh, okay.
For the first year I was down here.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I was at the shop, and Ellis called me, and he said, "Hey, I just recommended you for a gig.
Wow.
Al McKay from Earth, Wind & Fire. He has a touring band."
At the bike shop, talking to Ellis.
Yeah, and he says, you know, you might get a call from Al or his people. Sure enough, like 10 minutes later.
Wow.
Al directly hits me up. "Hey, Aaron's Al McKay from Earth, Wind & Fire. You know, Ellis says you're the guy. We're doing auditions.
You had to put down your tools and sit down for that one.
Yeah, can you come in tomorrow?" Like,
wow.
And you know, I was already.
Were you playing at that time here? Were you gigging at all?
Not really. I mean, I had musician friends. We would play, you know, friends had lockouts and stuff. But I wasn't really gigging. I was still getting settled in to like living in LA.
Right.
And and so Al asked if I could come the next day, and I was already kind of like in a little bit of hot water at the shop because it was far. I was in Santa Monica and I was living in Hollywood.
Showing up late.
And so I had a period where my truck was broken down and I couldn't afford to fix it. Right. And so I was riding my bike like 10 plus miles each way.
Sweating again.
Yeah, and I'd be like 15 minutes late every once in a while. Yeah. And so I was kind of in hot water there. And so that next morning, I just called, got the manager. I'm like, "Hey man, something came up.
Sorry.
I have to do this. I'll be in at like noon, you know?"
Right.
And, I could tell like that was it,
yeah.
For the shop.
I'm like, "Aaron."
So I show up, and it was at the bass player of the band at the time, Hussein Jifri, his home studio. And I borrowed my friend's truck because my truck wasn't running at the time. And so I borrowed his truck, and I just threw kick drum, snare drum, hi-hat in the back of the truck, no cases or anything,
Old school.
Drove out there in my work shirt, like I had the bike shop shirt and everything on, and shorts, and and so I'm waiting outside, and then it's funny, I don't know who it was that came out, who was auditioning, who came out. I probably know them now, and I just I didn't know them at the time, so I can't remember who it was. But it was like cool looking guy who's like wearing some chains, dressed nice, and he brings out this really beautiful DW kit.
Right.
And, like he just auditioned. I'm like, oh man, what am I doing? And I went in there and I just set that stuff up, and like
the Grease Monkey showed up and killed it.
Yeah, and Al called. He's like, Shining Star. Yeah. It's like, okay, well, yeah, let's just groove on it. We got about 16 bars. He's like, all right, cool. Let's groove.
Right.
Yeah, cool. We did like 16 bars of like maybe 3 tunes.
Right.
And I was like, this is the guy, man. Let's call off all the other auditions, this and that. I'm like, yeah, right, man.
They said that right there,
because there were guys. There was more guys coming. Like I was in the middle of an audition day.
Right.
Get to the bike shop. It's weird. Like nobody would look at me. You know, because I feel like the manager is probably talking smack and all that stuff. You know, I show up and no one would make eye contact.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like just lurking in the corner, like dusting bikes and stuff. And then I get a call from Al's manager saying like, hey, Al wants you to do the gig. We're leaving for Germany in 3 weeks. Do you have a passport? No. Well, get on it, you know? And then that was pretty much.
How much Earth, Wind, and Fire did you listen to growing up?
Tons.
Tons. Yeah, me too.
Like, you know, my dad and I, we would go camping. Every summer we'd drive up to the Sierras and, you know, one of my favorite things, I had a box set.
Right.
Earth, Wind, and Fire, and we listened to that. And it had like some special edition, like live cuts. And it's really interesting. I was always blown away by the rhythm guitar.
Yeah.
I remember like listening to it.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, man. And it's just, you know, just lined up.
It's prominent in all those old tracks and all those LPs. Al is in it. And
well, yeah, and that's the thing, like about rhythm guitar is it's as much a percussive element as it is harmonic.
Yeah.
You know, it's
exactly.
like I'm a closet guitar player, man. You know, like I never put in the time, but if there was another instrument,
right,
that you know. I could like, you know, really shred on. It would be like some rhythm guitar.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I noodle on the guitar for writing purposes.
Right.
But don't put me on stage.
Yeah.
But I'm just a huge guitar fan. So that was a really beautiful the way that lined up. And then I spent 11 years with Al's band.
11.
11 years.
Wow.
Like 70 countries.
Just basic stuff. Favorite cereal of all time?
Favorite cereal? Ooh. Guilty pleasure would probably be Fruity Pebbles.
Oh, that's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. First thing you think of or do when you wake up in the morning?
Coffee.
Coffee. Name a place or your dream place that you would want to just you and your bike. Anywhere in the world.
Oh, probably like Swiss or French Alps.
Nice. Give me top 3 skaters of all time. Your favorite skaters of all time.
My favorites? Boy, that's tough.
If I had a gun, is it give me 3?
Okay, well, Rodney Mullen was huge for me. Tony Hawk was huge for me, also because of his cultural thing. And then, say, like Chris Penny, I was way into Chris Penny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, favorite TV show theme song of all time?
Ooh, probably.
They don't have them as much now as they did back in the day, but
I would say probably the one that resonates with me the most, that I have kind of like a sentimental thing to, is Star Trek Next Generation.
Ah, interesting.
I used to watch that with my dad every Thursday.
Right.
And yeah, you know, it just does something.
Oh man, we'll end it on that right there, bro. Hey man, thank you for inviting us to Studio A.
Absolutely.
Hopefully we'll get back here and show some people some equipment, some gear, and just show you around his toy shop. And again, this is Aaron Haggerty. Look him up. This is my Bay Area brother right here. You are watching High Tops to Hi-Hats. Aloha.